What's up everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Marc Gallagher, and for those who don't know me, I'm a ukulele player of primarily pop and folk music. I do a lot of cover videos, I write my own songs, and also I do collaboration videos, the latter of which are on a bit of a hiatus, but they should be coming back relatively soon. You might have seen a video I did recently about Worth Brown strings. I love Worth Browns, and I tried them on my baritone for the first time, and we looked at the sonic differences and my thoughts on them. Today is a little bit of a similar video. It's also about ukulele strings, but this is about a different brand. It's called Heavenly Strings. Heavenly Strings are a ukulele string brand based in Massachusetts. I don't know whereabouts in Massachusetts, possibly Boston. I mean, there's nowhere else besides Boston in Massachusetts, but who knows? So full disclosure, this video is sponsored. Kind of. I'll explain. The story behind this one's really simple. Heavenly Strings added me on Facebook and I answered them the same way I answer all friend requests on Facebook is, "Hi, do I know you?" They mentioned that we hadn't met, but they'd seen my music videos that I'd shared in various ukulele groups, and they mentioned, "Hey, we make ukulele strings." I was like, cool, I can see that. They then sort of progressed the conversation by saying, "Hey, can we send you some strings for you to maybe try, give your thoughts on, or maybe do a video or something like that?" As a musician, I am like always in need of strings. I was like having a spare set, being able to try new stuff out, and I liked being able to do different videos like this. So like I said, this video is kind of sponsored. They have sent me free strings. However, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to put these on, and if I think they're crap, I'm not going to lie to you about it. Firstly, I'll mention what little I do know about Heavenly Strings. They're based in Massachusetts, as I mentioned. They seem relatively new, and as of yet, they only do concert sets. They only do concert in high G or low G at the current moment. The packaging's pretty nice. It's quite reminiscent of Living Water, which is another brand I absolutely love, but it's decent. The blurb on the back references that it's got high abrasion resistance and great tuning stability. It also mentions that the strings can be bright with a nylon pick or warm and articulate with a felt pick. I don't really use picks, but I feel like that statement is kind of apparent for all ukulele strings because, you know, nylon picks are bright and felt picks are softer. So, you know, From what I can see without opening the packaging just yet, the strings look like they're made out of flurocarbon, which is cool. I like flurocarbon. It's what I use on my ukuleles. The ukulele I'm going to string with these today is my Boulder Creek Riptide uke. It's one that I got gifted from Zara Lowsley, and it's one that I lovingly dub as my piece of crap uke. It's trashed, it's relict to buggery. It can never be sold because it's probably not worth anything on the retail market, but I love this uke. This was my main gigging uke for quite a while in my early days as a ukulele player. Currently this is strung with Living Water's low G. I think I've ordered a set of high G, so there'll be obvious differences, but I'm going to play a little bit of stuff on this just so you got a sound of what it currently sounds like and you've got something to compare it to. Here we go. So now you've got a taste of what the piece of crap uke sounds like with Living Water strings. You've got an idea of what to compare it to. I'm going to stop the video, I'm going to restring, and it's going to be annoying because it's got a time bar bridge. But yeah, I'll come back to you guys in a bit with, yeah. Just to mention a quick point before I actually put strings on, in terms of packaging, it's this little cardboard envelope thing. Once you take the plastic off, and it just opens, and then all the strings sort of fall out. I appreciate that there isn't plastic being used to wrap each individual string, but it's kind of untidy in the way that they all just sort of fall out and almost tangle into each other. Each string is distinguished, got little labels on the end for C, G, E and A respectively, so that's all cool. From a packaging standpoint, yes, I appreciate you're not using plastic here, but just the way they all fall out of this little bit of cardboard, especially because this cardboard is in some plastic anyway, so it's strange and counterintuitive. Packaging wise, I'd love to see if they did something like, if they could sort of have it come in this cardboard. I don't necessarily mind them being slightly disorganized like this. Maybe what you could do is have the strings sort of all coiled, and then you wrap the ends of the coil around each other so the strings don't entangle with each other. You could have it fall in here, and you could find a way to sort of like fold and tighten up this bit of cardboard. I think that'd make for a bit of a neater package. Okay, so I'm back now. I've just put new strings on the ukulele, but before I get into the playing demo, I just wanted to mention some of the things about packaging and what it tells you. On the back, it mentions, it gives you sort of a brief string guide. It mentions the content sets that it currently offers. It's got 4 different sets, high tension, medium, medium light and ultra light. They've given me the high tension one as indicated by a little tick there. I'd rather they had different sort of labels, I guess, that sort of said what set of strings you are on, but I understand that this sort of saves them having to print lots of different packaging out. I like having a high tension set because that's me, that's my style. I like something that works against me a little bit sometimes, as I mentioned in my Worth Brown's baritone thing, where they felt a bit slack. They felt like they gave away too much. It also mentions that the sets can be customized, so for example, if you want like an ultralight set but with a heavier G, then that's something that they can do, and it gives you a little number and email address for which to inquire about such a thing. On the inside of this label, it also mentions a string chart with the type of string and a corresponding tension. It just looks like a bunch of letters and numbers to me, but I'm sure that some people will be able to make sense of it. At the bottom of the label, it says that it was inspired by God. That's very living water of them, and also I'm an atheist, so like. But what I find interesting is that it mentions that it's measured using 432 Hz as A4. That's really interesting. So in layman's terms, most modern music is calibrated by tuning A as 440 Hz and then adjusting the tuning of everything else around that. It's a calibration of sorts. 440 Hz is the standard, however, there has been a movement as of late to do stuff in 432 Hz. I've worked on EPs that have been tuned in such a system, so I think I will give it a try and I'll see what sort of differences we find. Some people notice that 432 Hz has some sort of like magical healing properties and other juju nonsense, which is fun to like just laugh at. I'm gonna give it a try first at A equals 440, and then I'll probably demo it at 432 and see how you guys find that. So just getting to a playing demo, like I said, I've tuned this at 440 Hz. I've just tuned it, should be okay. If it does slip out a little bit, forgive it. I've just put the strings on. In terms of feel, they seem a little bit sort of coarse, a little bit kind of harsh. There's a certain roughness to the touch, which I imagine I can get used to, but I think of other strings like say Living Waters or Worth Browns, and they feel very sort of smooth, they feel very light to the touch. I can't sort of hear when I run my hands on the strings, and I can hear that's a bit of roughness. It feels sort of crystallized. It's not, but that's the best term I can use to describe it in terms of how it feels. This seems like flurocarbon, so on with the playing demo. I quite like these strings, despite the coarseness of the feel I mentioned. In terms of sound, they sort of sparkle. They're very bright, I find. Got a bit of a chimey quality to it. Granted, the Living Waters I've had on have been on for like maybe a year, so they've probably been dead lip, but these feel really bright, really sparkly. It's a nice quality in some fluorocarbon strings that I really enjoy. nice. Just like that sustain, I like its tone. The feel I can probably get used to. It's not my favorite, but I like the chimey qualities of this. Just for fun, I'm going to retune this ukulele into A equals 432 hertz. So it's a little bit of a different calibration. It's the calibration that was measured for Heavenly Strings. It's kind of the testing ground they use. So I'm going to tune it down to them and see what the results are like sonically. Here's another playing demo of Heavenly Strings tuned as A equals 432 hertz. With its slightly lower tuning, the strings feel a bit looser. There's obviously less tension because I've detuned the strings, I've made it looser. In terms of tone, it's a bit more mellow, but I find generally that 432 hertz accentuates lower mids a bit more. That's a different topic anyway. Yeah, I feel like by tuning it that way, it sort of loses some of the snap, loses some of the bright qualities, loses the chiminess, but tuned regularly, A equals 440 hertz, I like these strings. They're very chimey and I'll probably get used to the feel. It's not my favorite. There's a certain rough coarseness to it. I like the sound of these and the chiming quality. So, Heavenly Strings. Thank you very much, Heavenly Strings in Massachusetts, for sending me a set of strings. They're pretty nice. They're not without their flaws, but I enjoyed them, and hopefully if you are interested in some flurocarbon strings, you might consider the Heavenly Strings. Heavenly Strings, cool. If you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to press like, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're watching this on YouTube, like my Facebook page if you're watching this on YouTube, and all that good stuff. If you want to help support the things I do further, please go to patreon.com/Marc Gallagher Music. You can pledge from $2 a month or €2 or £2 or other currencies as well if you're that way inclined, and you can help support me and my career and various ventures like this. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. My name's Marc Gallagher, and I think I'm an influencer now.